Arvid Anderson, of Bloor, Minnesota, April 1st, 1934.
Real name is Juliette Elise Anderson. We used to be Shoals. Born in Chicago, Illinois, at Cook County Hospital on December 24th, 1935.
Midwest farm town, very laid back, you know, like I said. Big deal was go to a movie on Saturday night and drive up and down Main Street. That's just a little town in Store City, Iowa, you know.
What do you remember about Main Street in those days? Was there anything that sticks in your mind now?
Well, that's when everybody, farmers still came to town and shopped on Saturday nights, you know, so band concerts on Saturday night. And so I played in a band, so I'd have to play a band concert. So it was just a big local thing. That was a big social night.
16, we were living in Homewood, Illinois, just outside of Chicago. I went to this huge high school, in Thornton Township High School in Harvey, Illinois. There were 600 kids in my graduating class. I mean, it was a huge school. And every weekend we'd have sock hops in the gymnasium. I remember going to those. We went to movies. There was a little cafe on the corner of Main Street that we would hang out, a sweet shop type thing. We'd go and hang out there. I had two boyfriends. One I liked and he didn't like me, and another liked me and I didn't like him.
So the three of you could have had a good relationship.
So when the dance was coming up, I kept waiting and waiting for one guy to ask me, and if he didn't, then I'd go with the one who had asked me.
And we were on I was a fraternity pledge, she was a sorority pledge. We were on a sneak.
Oh,
Called a sneak. The pledges from one fraternity would sneak out with the pledges of a sorority and an excuse to go drink beer and meet a date. So we went to Fort Collins, Colorado.
Did you like her?
Well, she kept nagging at me to take her out. So.
Actually, he was supposed to be with this other girl, and I was supposed to be with another guy.
We switched.
Yeah, we switched.
Ah, see, I learned things.
So we switched partners.
I agree with him. It was at that sneak, and it was the first time I had seen him, and we just, you know, I didn't like the guy I was with, and he didn't particularly care for the girl that he was paired up with, and we started dancing and hit it off.
Did you talk to him first, or did he talk to you?
I don't remember.
Did you like him right away?
Sure, yeah.
She said the rabbit died. So.
That's, I'm keeping.
I don't know how to propose. Just.
I bet she remembers. I'll ask her
I
later.
have to ask her. I don't remember.
When, you know, he gave me his fraternity pin, and that's sort of a pre-engagement type thing. I can't remember how he gave it to me, but I remember he gave me his fraternity pin. And that's, you know, then I never got an engagement ring.
Right after the rabbit died.
Really quick.
1958, I think, isn't it? Yeah.
August
August 16th, 1958.
in Colorado.
In Greeley, Colorado. You were
We
there.
were there.
Yes, I remember.
You got whipped. You got drunk in my
First time I
wedding.
ever got drunk. And I had no idea I was
And there was a
drunk.
bulletin in there, in the church bulletin about that.
What?
Because, you know what happened there? My best man, Bob Walden, who hired us to go to Libby, right?
The punch.
Had snuck in 2 quarts of vodka or whatever and spiked the punch. And I thought he was a more thorough person than that, but we got carried away and he left the empty vodka bottles in church.
Among the altar cloths.
In the altar closet. And it created quite an uproar. The church bulletin reeked of havoc over that one. And
We didn't go back to that church.
it was a pleasant wedding, but they, thank goodness, didn't know it was us. But
Before the wedding, what I thought was real nice was after he gave me his fraternity pin, his whole fraternity came over and serenaded at our sorority house, and that I thought was real touching. I really enjoyed that. That's one fun memory.
I have two of them, both of them in our last two Christmases overseas, and they were both in London. We had an apartment in the Notting Hill gate area where the movie was filmed. It just happened to be our last two Christmases overseas. I was teaching in Libya at the time. David, at that time, was in high school in Rochester. In New York Military Academy. And so we'd spent Christmases in Libya or Malta, and all of a sudden just worked out that we got this flat, as they call it in England, and I don't know how we ended up. I guess we'd come through there and rented it, coming back in Libya one fall from the States, and rented it, so we were there 2 weeks, and we were going to do it the following Christmas, and that one we were there 3 weeks because Egypt and Libya went to war, and they evacuated us, which was I really appreciate, because it just gave us an extra week's vacation. There was no problems because of the complaining wives of the oil industry. They evacuated us out of Libya, so we spent 3 weeks at Christmas in London. And it just was so enjoyable. I think everybody's the right age and had the right. We just had a great time both years in the same place.
One Christmas in Libya is very memorable. Arvid planned this big surprise party for me, and he said we were going out to dinner and down to downtown Tripoli, Libya. So we got in the car and headed out, and we got halfway there, and he said, "Oh, I forgot something. We have to go back home." And we got home, and everybody was at our villa, and it was a real big party, and he had gotten a whole lamb, all cooked and everything. It was a beautiful party. The trouble having my birthday the day before Christmas is pretty, there's so many. I remember when I was a kid, I got one memory I have of the Christmas was I got a table and chair set for my tea parties and things like that. And that was a year, I was really thrilled to get that Santa Claus brought me that, And that was a year my older sister decided to tell me that there was no such thing as a Santa Claus.
For some reason, the one that sticks out with me is when we had just moved to Story City, and I got a sled because we used to go out this one hill out by the city dump. I forget whose hill, out by Hermanson's.
My favorite dessert, key lime pie, I think.
Ice cream, I would guess.
Any specific flavor?
No, I'm a chocolate nut. But,
Okay.
if I get vanilla ice cream, I put chocolate on it. So.